The new Google Home Smart Display interface is incredible, but in order to get the most out of it, you need to understand what you can and can't do. Hello Automators, let's get right into this new interface. You can see me turning the Nest Cam back on my Nest Hub Max, and when you tap on the interface, it instantly brings you to this portion of the display. Now, you're noticing up in the top left that it says Your Evening, and that will actually adjust as you go between the morning and the afternoon and whatever time of day it is. You're going to see different things there, and therefore on this screen, you're going to see different cards. Now, right off the bat, you can see I'm adjusting my kitchen lights, and that's because that's the room that this display is in. So I can hit on and off, and you see the bulbs come on, but I can also tap on the arrow there to get the bigger control interface where I can change colors, brightness, and other components. So of course I can hit on the brightness, the color, and the different lights and adjust them independently in what is essentially one tap for any of those different components. Now, when you go back to the screen, what you're also going to notice right away is that your weather is almost always here. And when you tap on that interface, it's going to bring you into a more detailed report. On top of that, you can ask additional follow-up questions and navigate within this entire report as well. One thing you might be noticing is I'm swiping from left to right to get rid of the additional interfaces. Now my calendar and your reminders are likely to show up as well, so you can go ahead, tap into those, and you can see the delete it, change it, and show reminders buttons at the bottom, so there's always follow-up things. Now one thing you're likely to see on this page as well is your household contacts. This will show up elsewhere, but you can again tap on the arrows, and this is going to become a common theme, and then you could go and make a quick call to any of those contacts. One thing you will find with the whole interface is that many of the cards can be held onto. So if you hold onto them for a second, you can actually dismiss a number of them, and then other ones you'll be able to open further details. Let's move over to home control, and this is going to be a major component of your smart home. Now again, I can go into the lights in the kitchen directly, or I have the ability to go into all the different lights, and this will take me into the different rooms that I've set up in the Google Home application, and I can quickly turn on and off lights throughout my home. I can also tap on any of those to again go to the more in-depth interface to adjust things. Within connectivity, I'm able to do a speed test because I have the Nest Wi-Fi, and then I can also get my guests onto the guest Wi-Fi with a little QR code that is available here, so they can basically scan that with their phone and they're into my guest Wi-Fi network. Now, you can also see all of your different cameras from this display, and this gives you a quick link into tapping on any of those and bringing up the camera. Routines is a major component of Google Home because you can run a number of actions in a row. So anything you've set up in the Google Home app, you can run from here. You also have the ability to go into your climate control. Now, this would be any of your thermostats, and I actually have a number of temperature sensors that are being treated as room sensors for my thermostat. There's also the room section, which is really a redo of the Google Home app and the way it is laid out. So this is a really great way to get to all your different equipment, tap in and get the more complex control screens. But it's a quick and easy way to move throughout your home very quickly and see all the devices that are on or off. The speakers and TV section is another way to control music throughout your home, and what you're going to find right away is that you can start music on different groups, different displays, and different speakers as well.
Alright, music from YouTube Music, playing on Gym Group.
If we scroll over to the right within home control, we'll also find other components like our thermostat or other smart home devices like cameras. And when you get into there, you're able to control them just the same as everything else. Some other things that you're going to find within the home control setting is the ability to adjust lighting by a plus or minus factor of 10% within things like smart home speakers or smart home streamers like the new new Google Chromecast, you're getting these kinds of control interfaces available when you ask those to turn on, or you go and you find them in that rooms section. So this is very powerful for you to control your home in its entirety. Now, the media section gives you access to all the different types of media that you can play on here, or the big ones anyways. And again, you're going to get the odd card sitting here, but you can dismiss it. Now, YouTube Music, a Google News feed that is tended towards you, and podcasts are all available. And what I really like about all of these feeds is I can hit the open button when I hold on one of them, and then I'm into the more detailed section, or I'm able to look at more devices than just those few on the feed. And this has allowed me to do things like this and see what NASA did just this past week. Once you're playing things like that and you've paused them, well, your media page will actually have a card on it that allows you to go back into it or change where it's being played. So you can actually hit that cast button, or you can, as you saw, just dismiss it. And this allows you to manage the content that's running on your display. So whenever you're playing music or you've started music within your home, you're going to find this media card here, and this gives you access to a whole media control interface that is honestly very impressive. So you can go into any of those media cards, and once you do that, you're given the ability to add in speakers on the fly or remove speakers on the fly from whatever you started music on. And then you also have the ability to swipe up from the bottom to pull up the feed for what is going to play next, and you can jump ahead in the playlist that you have there. Moving into the Communicate tab, this is one of the most interesting tabs. So you have your household contacts again, but now we have a number of different communication methods that we can use, which includes starting a video Google Meet. And if you've put a Google meeting into your calendar, well, then you can join just with that button sitting right there. Otherwise, you can create a new meeting or join one with a code you've been given. Now, the other things on here, the ability to make a video call or a phone call accesses your contacts, and then you can also call within your home in a couple of different ways. And the first way is to call another room, which actually starts either a video call or a phone call, depending on the type of device you're on, to one of the devices in another room, and someone there can then answer. The broadcast to another room allows someone in another room to again respond, but they're going to have to say that they want to respond or reply to you. The other thing is the ability to send a video message, and this requires Google Duo to be connected, and most of these features do, but you can actually record a video message to any of your contacts, and this is a lot of fun, and it just shows up on their phone in a lot of cases, or on their smart display in a card that says you've left them a message. The Discover tab is really a collection of different things, and within the Discover tab you're going to find your recipes, and then you get this little card about dark theme, and this is a really important thing. So you can always tell Google Assistant to turn on dark theme, and it will bring up this little menu. Now you could switch between light, dark, and an automatic mode that adjusts based on sunrise or sunset or the ambient lighting conditions in the room that you're in. Now, I happen to like the dark mode, and I'm going to leave it there for now, but the rest of the Discover page shows you different things that you might not be using already. And I asked the Google Assistant if I could change the voice, and it gives me a couple of options, asks me if I want to change to that, and I can say yes or no to that request. Everything else in here, you're going to find simple ways to use the Google Assistant, and then there's sometimes what are called assistant actions. So when you see that Talk to ABC mouse sitting there, that's what that is. It's basically a little application that has been created by another developer, and you're going to see different ones on different days. But then I have things like the ability to get Google's stock price, and you could ask any company's stock price as well. So this is just meant to introduce little things that you can do on a daily basis or whenever you'd like. Now, when I pull the whole menu, I actually can go back to the photo frame and eventually you'll see it expand. And so from here, you have a couple of different options to actually change what's on screen. You can actually pull from the left and you'll get rid of that photo frame and just see a clock. That's been useful for me for a while. But what you have to do is just tap to bring back that photo frame, and then you can see how you drag from right to left to grab the photo frame and bring up the new display interface. So there's a couple of ways to go through things, but you can't actually drag from the top down to use that old menu you used to. Now, while you can manage your photo frame inside the Google Home application, you can also request it through the Google Assistant on your smart display, and this allows you to adjust what the photo frame looks like and what pictures you're displaying on screen. Now, we don't have that menu to swipe from the top down anymore, but we do have the menu to swipe down upwards, and this gives us access to some basic settings. Now, that is what's called ambient EQ, and you can turn that on or off, and when you turn on ambient EQ, it will adjust the brightness of the display based on what it sees. You also have volume control, not just for the general volume, but also the alarm volume on the display, and you can set those independently. This next button gives you the ability to turn on and off the Nest Cam if you have a Nest Hub Max like me, and you can see that you can learn more and get a little more information, so you're going to see that a few times as you adjust or play with the display. Now, the next button is Do Not Disturb, and that will stop incoming calls and all kinds of notifications. So you can turn that on, and then you have the ability to set alarms. And actually, this interface is about to be updated, but you're able to set an alarm and then adjust it or remove it again if you'd like to. The next button, if you press it, eventually what will come up is the ability to send feedback to Google, and you might get a question right away. Okay, what feedback do you want to send? And finally, we have the settings page, and this gives you the ability to adjust the display or a number of the settings around that. So I can always tap on the photo frame setting and then adjust what it is I'm displaying on that very first page, and there's a number of settings around that I can set, and that would therefore change what I'm seeing on the screen. Now, the next thing you're going to want to see are the updates to the Google Chromecast, and this new device has quite an interface and quite a set of settings and features available to it. So go check out the video that's up on screen and learn a ton more about the Google Chromecast. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and of course, don't hate, automate.